Today, we're setting the stage for an incredible journey into a space where two completely different worlds absolutely smash together: biology and information technology. We aren't just looking at life through the lens of an old-school microscope anymore. We're actually decoding the very fabric of existence using data. And I mean massive, mind-boggling amounts of data.
Right, let's dive into this by picturing the sheer scale of the information we're dealing with today. Just imagine scientists sitting in a lab surrounded by millions upon millions of DNA sequences, millions of proteins, and the incredibly complex genetic data of thousands of different organisms. Could a human being, or even a whole team of the absolute smartest humans on Earth, manually sort through, analyze, and actually make sense of this towering mountain of information on their own? No way. Absolutely not. It literally cannot be done by hand. And honestly, this exact crisis is what gave birth to the fascinating field we're exploring today.
And that brings us right to our definition. What exactly is this ultimate solution to our massive data problem? Well, the word itself gives the whole thing away. Bio stands for biology, and informatics stands for information technology. Bioinformatics is basically the science where biology meets computer science, mathematics, statistics, and IT. By merging all these disciplines together, scientists can collect, analyze, and interpret massive biological datasets, things like DNA, RNA, proteins, and entire genomes. Today, it has become the undeniable backbone of modern biology, because frankly, without computers, analyzing this stuff would be fundamentally impossible.
To really appreciate this, we have to look at where we started versus where we are now. Just a few decades ago, scientists worked in laboratories generating very limited amounts of data by hand, mostly just mixing things in test tubes. But today, we have these wildly powerful new technologies like DNA sequencing, next-generation sequencing, proteomics, and genomics. And because of these huge tech leaps, we're generating terabytes of complex data every single day. The biggest challenge for scientists isn't just how to generate data anymore. It's a full-blown data overload crisis. We absolutely require supercomputers to securely store, organize, and extract useful, life-saving information from these massive digital biological libraries.
Section 1. Its history and evolution. Let's take a quick look at how this field actually came to be. Tracking our rapid technological leap here is just so fascinating. So in 1953, the discovery of the DNA double helix completely revolutionized molecular biology. Then, by 1965, the very first protein sequence database was developed, which finally allowed scientists to compare different proteins. Fast forward to the 1970s, and computers began being used rapidly to analyze biological data, giving us early techniques like sequence alignment. In 1982, GenBank, which is one of the world's largest DNA sequence databases, was establishing, allowing scientists across the globe to share data. And then, the monumental leap. The Human Genome Project started in 1990 to map the entire human sequence. This mega project took 13 years, successfully wrapping up in 2003, and it marks one of the absolute greatest achievements in modern bioinformatics. Moving right along to Section 2, Future in Careers. Let's explore the massive scope of this rapidly growing industry. So today, the modern tech pillars of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and big data analytics are fundamentally revolutionizing modern biology. We aren't just cataloging data anymore like librarians. These tools are being utilized right now to analyze complex diseases, predict exactly how they'll behave, and even create entirely new drugs completely from scratch. It is an incredibly exciting time because we're quite literally using algorithms to unlock the deepest secrets of human health. And because of this explosion in growth, the career scope is just immense. If you're someone who loves biology but also loves code, the opportunities are expanding across biotechnology companies, pharmaceutical labs, hospitals, diagnostic centers, agriculture tech, vaccine development, and AI in healthcare. It's one of the fastest growing fields globally, perfectly bridging that gap between the life sciences and the digital world. All right, Section 3, Real-World Applications. Let's see how this actually impacts our daily lives. Let's start with the medical field. It all begins with genomics, studying entire genomes, identifying specific genes, and analyzing mutations. This naturally leads right into proteomics, which focuses on understanding the protein structures those genes create, what their functions are, and how they interact with each other. From there, we move directly into drug discovery. Instead of spending years doing trial and error in a physical lab, scientists now use virtual screening and molecular docking to identify exactly how a new drug might interact with the target in the body. It's a real game changer that dramatically accelerates medical breakthroughs.
And this genetic understanding paves the way for something really amazing: personalized medicine. Because your genome, my genome, every single individual's genome is unique. Bioinformatics allows doctors to tailor and select treatments based precisely on an individual's unique DNA. So this directly impacts your own personal health. It's also absolutely crucial on a global scale, like in vaccine development. As we've all seen during recent pandemics, this field allows researchers to conduct rapid genome analysis of new dangerous viruses to identify targets and develop life-saving vaccines at speeds that were previously unimaginable.
But it goes way beyond human health. These tools are completely vital for agriculture, helping us develop better, more resilient, and disease-resistant crop varieties through marker-assisted selection, which is critical to feeding a growing global population. Similarly, in microbiology, it allows us to protect humanity by identifying new strains of bacteria and viruses, analyzing their genomes, and studying the really critical global threat of antibiotic resistance.
Now, here's a crazy thought. The exact same data science has vastly different applications depending on who's using it. It's used in evolutionary biology to build phylogenetic trees, to understand the evolutionary relationships between different species over millions of years. And simultaneously, it's used in forensic science for modern-day DNA fingerprinting, verifying identities, and solving complex crime investigations. It's all the same underlying data principles.
Finally, Section 4, Key Databases and Tools. Let's look under the hood at the actual digital toolkit.
The easiest way to think of this infrastructure is in two parts. First, you have the key databases. These are giant digital libraries, like NCBI or the Protein Data Bank, where global biological information is permanently stored. Second, you have the software tools. Think of programs like BLAST or FASTA as highly specialized Google search engines that scientists use to query and analyze the massive amounts of data stored in those libraries. Together, these databases and tools form the entire global infrastructure of bioinformatics. So, we've seen today how a field born out of the sheer necessity of managing data has grown into the very backbone of modern biology, spanning everything from agriculture to crime solving. But here is the most exciting, provocative part I want to leave you with. As artificial intelligence and massive big data analytics continue to fully merge with our biological understanding at breathtaking speeds, are we actually on the verge of curing every human disease? It's a huge question, and the answer might be written right there in the data.